Now your AdWords account is up, running and working for your business. But far from being over, your journey is just getting started. So far, you've built an awesome supercar. Now it's time to put it on the road and speed towards the best destination for your business. So in Module 6, you'll discover the only 2 reasons ever to make a change to an AdWords campaign, and the only way to guarantee that the changes you make take you closer to your destination as quickly as possible. So buckle up, it's going to be a fast ride, and along the way you'll begin to see AdWords management in a whole new light.
Welcome, we are now into Module 6. Module 6 is going to be awesome because we get to now put things into practice. So far, all we've done is we've built and we've built and we've built. We've done some upfront planning as to what we were going to build, why we were going to build it, and what we wanted to achieve. We then set about going through step by step, methodically building our AdWords account to get it into the best possible shape. Now the rubber gets to hit the road. We get to turn this thing on and make it go better and better and better. This is where the fun starts. So we're going to start in this session. This is just an intro. We're going to start about some optimization concepts. In particular, what we mean and the process that we're going to go through. In this module, we're going to introduce language and things that you've not heard before, things that you probably won't hear anywhere else, but that make a difference to how your campaign will perform. And these are the things now that are going to take your campaign from start to an absolute success in the fastest possible time. So this is going to be a great module. So let's start. What do we mean when we talk about campaign optimization? Well, let's look at what the dictionary says. Dictionary says the definition is an act of making something as good as possible. It doesn't define what good means, just that it's the act of making something as good as possible. The dictionary implies almost that's a one-off event, but it isn't. Optimization is a journey. It's something that we will start and we will then take step after step after step after step. And each time we take a step, sometimes we'll see an improvement, sometimes it will not work. We'll do what I think is a great optimization and we'll get a bad result from it. So we have to undo that and try something else and try something else and so on and so forth. What should happen is that over time we start to get diminishing returns, because what happens is that the first time through, if we've got, say, a 2% click-through rate, we can make that 4%. Once we got to 4, we might be able to make it 5. Once we've got 5, we might be able to make 5.5. But getting those extra steps each time takes effort, and the return on that effort will get smaller. Not always, and sometimes you get a lucky break, but expect there is a curve here. There is almost a finite upper limit on that curve. And that sometimes we have what we call resets, where something just breaks and we have to go again. So expect that to happen in our optimization process. So how are we going to measure success? Everything that we measure when we're optimizing should reflect our objectives. Go way back to Module 2 when we were planning. What did we want to achieve for our campaign? The key thing that came out of Module 2 was a goal horizon. What is the measure of our success and when do we need to achieve it? That was our goal horizon that we quantified in our earlier modules before we even built anything in AdWords. So now that we know that, we're going to work towards it. That's our target. And a super important concept now that I want to just introduce. Everything in AdWords is a test. And everything in your AdWords account has to earn its right to be there. It has to earn its budget. There is nothing that in AdWords that should ever be considered just outside the scope of testing. We should keep things under constant evaluation. You'll find lots of people when they manage AdWords, they will build a campaign and they will set it going and they will tweak and tweak and tweak, but there isn't a plan, there isn't a strategy there. And so it is just an ongoing tweak without really a clear purpose and a clear goal horizon in mind. That is not the way we're doing this. We will do this fundamentally differently. And so here's what we're going to do for everything we do in our AdWords optimization. We start with a hypothesis, an idea. I think that adding a new keyword into this ad group is going to bring me more qualified visitors who become buyers. That's a hypothesis. We're adding a keyword, but that's why we're doing it. We're expecting an outcome that is more buyers in our business. I'm stopping a keyword because my hypothesis is that it will reduce my costs and it will not reduce my conversions, the number of enquiries. So everything we do, we start with a hypothesis and we set up our environment to test that so that we know what we're testing in. So we build the ad groups, we build the campaigns in the right way. So we've got a controlled test setup. And then we make sure that we control that test environment as we go through. So we control whereabouts on the page the ad appears. We control the times of day that it appears. We make sure that there are not other changes as far as we can affecting our approach. We gather some results, and when we have those results, we make a decision. We reach a conclusion. Did it work? Didn't it work? But we do it based on evidence. This isn't about gut feel. This isn't about intuition. This is about evidence and results. And that's why this is different for the vast majority of what you will see in AdWords anywhere. Most people do not understand this and do not do it right. And we're going to talk about something called statistical significance. Don't get bogged down in this. This is important to understand the principle. It is not important to understand the detail. I'm telling you now because it matters, but not because I expect you to understand the maths. I don't understand the maths. So, what is statistical significance? Again, back to a dictionary definition. It's a number that expresses the probability that the result given in an experiment could have occurred by chance. So what does it mean? It means how likely is the result that we're seeing in our AdWords data right? It's as simple as that. And generally, the level that is accepted as being good enough is a 5% error rate, which means that if I look at a test result in AdWords and let's say ad A is beating ad B, if that number is statistically significant, it means that one time in every 20, that result that I've just observed will be a fluke, it will be chance, and that making a decision based on that data, we could get the wrong decision. So that's all it means. It means how likely am I to be right? And we generally work to a 1 in 20 chance of being wrong. That's where most users get it completely and utterly wrong. 99%, again, I'll use this, I've yet to find AdWords users who properly understand statistical significance. Most people who are running AdWords campaigns will what I call testing by eye. They'll look at a campaign, they go, that one's better than that, this one's basing that, okay, I'm going to pause these losers and test again. So they take a visual look at what's going on and they make a decision based on that, the eyeball look. That has no statistical validity whatsoever. We see and we calculate that well over 80% of decisions we see other AdWords managers making have no statistical validity whatsoever. They're just guessing effectively based on intuition. Many of them, if someone is actually doing statistical significance testing, so they're trying to go about it the right way, the vast majority of times that's also done wrong because they're using something called p-value testing. If you look at there are some brilliant split testing tools out there. You can get them for free on the internet. You can go and find a split testing tool. Just Google AdWords split testing. You'll find a bunch of tools. The problem with them is they use something called p-values. P-values have one purpose, which is you have a defined start of a test, you have a defined end. So I am going to test when I have reached 500 clicks. When you have reached 500 clicks, then you do a p-value test and it will tell you whether you've got a winner or not. And you'll get this 95% confidence value, the statistical significance or not. The problem is that most people will use one of those tools and they will use it repeatedly. What that means is that your chances of being wrong increase substantially. If you do it once a week over a month, you've got over a 20% chance of getting it wrong. If you do it daily over the course of a month, you've got an 80% chance approximately of getting an error. So even those people who think they're getting it right quite often are getting it wrong. I'm going to show you during this training how we get past this. There is a way to get past this that we've had to build, that we've worked on, and we had to hire PhD maths guys to do this because we couldn't understand it, but we knew what we wanted to achieve. So with that said, I'm going to end this lesson here. This is a primer, this is an intro, and it's really just to get you into the mindset and excited about an approach that is going to say we are going to use very goal-focused, very controlled testing methods to get the biggest advantage in our AdWords performance over all the competitors out there. So let's look for that. Let's dive into the detail in the next session, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.